why do I need them armed?
I'm just asking.
You're being hired for a detail. You're being hired for a detail to direct traffic and get the people to say. Details were never designed. I've never heard the argument, details were designed for someone in need of a firearm. They're there to help direct traffic in a safe manner, get people through, get the public through in a safe fashion. Now, what you're talking about is ancillary occurrences that could occur, whereby you could respond differently than a flagman that 49 other states seem to be surviving with. I mean, at a far lesser rate that the public's paying for.
Tom?
Mr. O'Leary, you said that you had attempted to bring it up in negotiations, contract negotiations, about going to a flat rate of candy already to make it more out of the board as far as the rate is concerned and what the cost may. Is that true?
Yeah, I brought it up over the years a number of times, absolutely.
So, is that the reason why this warrant article is in effect now?
No, this is,
Circumvent
first of all,
bargaining agreement?
no, matter of fact, I didn't propose it this time. I proposed it previously. But I didn't propose, I think this is just as a timely response to what the governor's proposing in allowing the town, to avail itself.
In no way, shape, or form, this is not meant to circumvent the collective bargaining.
It was a direct response as to what the governor was proposing. At least that's why I'm taking it.
Is the board's intention to circumvent the collective bargaining?
You're asking me? No.
I can't speak for the board.
Is it your intent?
My intent is to provide the town whatever options are made available to them through either the legislative process and/or executive order. And again, I have no idea how this is going to be implemented.
Well, timing as it was, as you said, the governor's proposed legislation. We just signed a collective bargaining agreement 6 months ago. Was it brought up then? Is that was the topic in the state house then? Was the details brought up in our last collective bargaining agreement that you just signed?
I can tell you, well, I'm trying to think now, those were delayed 18 months, no doing of our side here, but I can honestly tell you that during the course of setting our priorities in relation to what we were going to propose initially, I specifically always and have consistently proposed, again, this is behind closed doors, proposed capping the detail rates. Now, how far those get, you come in with 27 proposals, we'll come in with 47 proposals, and it comes down to a handful on each side that get decided and put into the collective bargaining agreement. You know how the process works, but yeah, initially, sure, absolutely. I can unequivocally say, yeah, I suggest every single time collective bargaining comes up with the police officers cap on.
Was that a vote of the board, or was it just you and
Everybody has input as to what's to be put on the table initially when it goes.
And keep in mind that, that contract was delayed by over 18 months, and, and the board direction to the town administrator was given back then.
But I guess my point is the contract was signed probably 4 or 5 months ago, and was not part of the collective bargaining agreement.
It was not part of the final
No,
agreement.
no, it wasn't.
No, capping the rate was not part of the final agreement. That was not a deal breaker.
Okay, so you don't know how far in the process that went through.
And I tell you, to be honest with you, I couldn't recall because I think the process started
So this
4
warrant-
years ago.
so this warrant article
It started
has
4 years ago.
nothing to do with circumventing.
It's not a direct reflection of what was discussed or what was agreed to in the collective bargaining agreement. It is, to me, it's more of a timing issue in relation to what's being proposed at the state level, which would provide local municipalities an option to provide flagmen for either themselves and/or private contractors and homeowners, which would then result in a savings to those people who are either the ratepayers, the homeowners, the general contractors, and/or the town, if we can avail ourselves of the opportunity. Just happens to be a timing in relation to what's being proposed by the governor. That's the way I look at it. I mean, to me, the issue's been a long-standing issue for years, but
Yes, sir.
My issue is, to me, what I'm getting from you, it sounds like it's a money issue, detail rate issue.
yeah, it's always has been.
We sat down at the bargaining table before, and it's always been used as a bargaining chip for the town and us. Up until recently, within the past several contracts, we bargained something away that we need to get minimums. And they'd have
detail rate is tied directly to the patrolman's salary and the sergeant's salary.
Right, it was bargained.
So,
It was bargained.
yeah, but, I mean, so it's tied directly to it.
Minimum was bargained.
You know, and what we were trying to cap is that we can't cap your rates on details, the town details. We can't cap that, because you're on the town dime and the town payroll, and it's time and a half, and that's what the law calls for. We can't cap that. That doesn't change. The only thing that would change would be for the outside details. Capping the outside detail rates, which is, you know,
Gentlemen, back, yes, sir.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if the prevailing wage is $34 for the flag, now you must have to pay that company something beside that $34. Somebody has to pay that.
they have to pay the,
All right, so now you got what, maybe $40?
who has to pay?
Whoever's
But
hiring that flag?
Within that prevailing wage includes the profit for the business owner. The flagman isn't getting $34 an hour. The businessman's getting $34 an hour, of which a portion of that is what's paid the wage for the individual.
But you still, somebody's paying $34.
Right. As opposed to $48.57. And there's no minimum. But I would expect that they would say, they're not gonna come out for less than 3 hours or whatever it's gonna be, but, right,
It's a minimum.
right, right.
So the difference between that, wouldn't you rather have a police officer out there? No?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You know, and I'll go back to the discussion that Mr. Harrison I had about the details in the summertime up at Mead Road and Ivy Street, and Mead Road and Oakdale Road, and days on end.
Well, there was a reason why those was actually happening on Mead Road. I don't know if you explored the reason why it wasn't.
There was no response, but, okay.
The reason why there was actually an ambulance and police car trying to go to a quality and couldn't because the line company truck was blocking the road. That's why we were required to have a depot. Because the police officer could not get to a call.
When was that? I'm just,
That was it.
I'm talking about, those details were up in our neighborhood for
Correct. They replaced
Couple
all the
weeks.
poles up in your neighborhood, that was correct.
weeks.
A police officer tried to get to a call up there and he could not. He notified Reading Light and then they put a detail up. That's how come that happened. Wasn't your house the car was going to, if it was your house, you probably would have known.
No, I didn't, but I'm just saying.
And just another point, as far as the collective bargaining agreement, you were on the board that signed the contract, they gave us our rate after 4, they gave us our time and a half. So you okayed it,
I okayed the package as a whole, doesn't mean I bought into the whole program.
no, but, you know.
I signed a lot of I signed a lot of agreements, I don't like all the terms and conditions.
We had the foresight to bargain in certain benefits. We had the foresight to bargain in our minimum, we had the foresight to bargain in that we would do details as our present. You signed those contracts, and now you want to get out.
I'm not disagreeing with you in relation to the collective bargaining agreements. I signed them, but again, doesn't mean I agree with every term and condition that's in it. You know, over the course of many months, in this particular one, but in all of them, it always takes months to come to some agreement on these things. You know, it's, you end up signing. What am I gonna say? Vote no just because I don't like that one particular point? Again, it wasn't a deal breaker for me. I think it's a deal. I think it's a big deal. I think it's unfortunate, but again, it wasn't a deal breaker for me where I was going to not sign the collective bargaining agreement as a member of the board and ratify the action of the town administrator. So, doesn't mean I agreed with them all.
The contract that gave us all our minimums, you signed. You're the one that signed the 8 after 4 and the time and a half.
I could go along with some of the other stuff that you didn't like, Kelly time and all the rest. You like all that stuff? No, you don't like all the terms and conditions in your contract, but you signed them. So do we.
We can't go to town
So
meeting
do
and try
we.
to change those.
So do we.
We can't petition.
This
town
takes an
meeting
act of
to
the
change
legislature.
contractual benefits. Can we add contractual benefits? No.
What's that?
We can't go to town meeting to add contractual benefits.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't think that you should.
Well, I don't think you should go take some away.
We don't have any other option at this point. This is an option that we can, you know, this is an option that's going to be provided to us as a community, as a board. And again, you know, we have to look at the collective whole as a community. And this is an option that's provided to us, and we're looking to take advantage of it.
You had, and I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. You actually said that you have no option, you have to go through with this?
This is an option that we have.
So you said you had to.
I stand corrected. We don't have to. We are choosing to. At least I, as one member, am choosing to.
three of us
Which would
have.
be to exclude something out of our contract.
Not necessarily exclude. How's it excluding?
But the contractual benefit now, and you are supporting a warrant article that would ultimately take something out of our contract.
It would provide utilities and outside contractors the opportunity to hire someone else to do details.
Okay, we'll take something out of the contract.
It would, no, it would give someone else another choice.
We'll take something out of the contract.
They could still choose to go with a police officer if they so chose, right? But why wouldn't they? Saves the money, right? Doesn't preclude them from hiring a police officer. Does it? Does it? No. It provides them with a choice, which they currently don't enjoy. Right?
If that's your intent, I guess so.
Any other comments? Any other comments? Just to go over, on Article 11, the board is, as we explained earlier, not making a recommendation this evening. We will make a recommendation on town meeting floor.
You had one additional article, which was included in the posting, and that was for the sewer construction project.
Yes.
We did put it in the
Thank you.
listing of warrant articles for consideration, however, there's no language accompanying it in the warrant.
And there's no I would hope maybe they make a report, but beyond that, there's nothing. That concludes the public informational hearing.
I think recreation came in a little late. We just want to let you know that,
We got through the capital.
yeah, we got through the capital, and also the adjustments to the budget. Benefits. The benefits, it's the intention of the board to have the administration put forth for consideration a motion that would move the cost of the pension, the health benefits into your expense budget so that you wouldn't have to spend it from your revolving fund. So therefore, the net effect is the same.
Basically, you would have to fund the benefits from the revolving fund, but there would be a supplemental adjustment line item in your expenses to cover that amount.
No.
No.
The middle school
It's on the
field-
list.
It's on the list, but it's at the bottom of the list. What's that?
No, because we're not including it.
It's on our list, but as far as the prioritization and dollar amounts and how much we can bond and afford, it doesn't make the top tier. Doesn't make the top 13.
No,
No,
it's not a warrant article. It was,
it was consolidated into the capital request, Rita? You did. You absolutely did. But what I'm saying is that the request itself was a capital request. And it was treated as a capital request and incorporated into the overall omnibus capital article. I agree. Originally, when the listing of warrant articles was provided to the Board of Selectmen, it was listed as item number N, middle school field renovation. And there was a decision made collectively that would be appropriately considered